This is a regular Ravens fan coming back at y'all. And y'all know how I hit y'all when I always come in. I tell you, trust your eyes. I want to play this segment for y'all, Mike Greenberg. Everybody that's been rocking with me, y'all know where I stand at on Lamar Jackson. I don't really want to go all the way into it. Just know that I'm a supporter. I'm a fan. I believe what I see when I watch the man on the field. He's deserving of every accolade he's gotten up to this point in his career. And Mike Greenberg is going to set it straight. I don't know. Like I say to my Ravens fans out there, Ravens Nation, we getting through. I think I'm getting through. Pay attention to what Greenberg says. It's going to sound eerily familiar to what your boy been telling you about Lamar Jackson. Here we go, rolling the tape. Now this right here is the truth that I've been trying to articulate in so many videos. Coming at you. Mike Greenberg finally seeing it the way I see it.
Do you know what I'm getting a little tired of hearing about? All the things Lamar Jackson hasn't done. Before we get to those, let me mention a few that he has. Since he became Baltimore's starter in Week 11 of his rookie year, he is the winningest quarterback in the NFL.
Tell him, Greeny.
More touchdowns than Tom Brady, fewer picks than Patrick Mahomes, and he has rushed for more yards than Saquon Barkley on 52 fewer carries. In the span of 1 month last year, he beat Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, and Deshaun Watson by an average of 22 points per game.
Trust your eyes.
No, he's lost 2 playoff games. You want to make that the be-all, end-all? Well, fine. Let's talk about a quarterback who started his career 0 for his first 3 playoff games, despite his team being favored in 2 of them. He completed less than 50% of his passes in those games, and the third one, his team lost 41-0 to the Jets. That quarterback was Peyton Manning.
What?
He turned out okay. By the way, he was 26 when he lost that game. Lamar Jackson is 23. And for what it's worth, Lamar was sacked 7 times in his first playoff game, and he had 4 balls dropped in his second. But that's not the point. What I think is going on here is a case of a lot of people not believing what their eyes are seeing, mostly because he is making them look bad.
Wait a minute, Greeny. Wait a minute, Greeny. You said there's a lot of people doing what again, Greeny? What is it?
That's not the point. What I think is going on here is a case of a lot of people not believing what their eyes are seeing, mostly because he is making them look bad. The whole league passed on this guy. Respected evaluators told him to play a different position. Then he went out and he was the unanimous MVP in his second year. He made a lot of decision makers look even worse than the linebackers who fall down trying to tackle him. So the moral of this story, my friends, is simple. There's nothing so terrible about having been wrong about Lamar Jackson. Most people were. The real mistake is failing to admit it now.
There you go. You know, I may not be the most articulate person in the world, but one thing I know is this sport. I know this game. Like I've been telling the people that's been rocking with me. They know I've been telling them this. You always got to trust your eyes. You can't let them haters win. And I've said it over and over and over again. People have evaluated this young man a certain way coming into the league. That's what they do. They paint narratives. And then they gotta stick with those narratives. Because that's what they selling us on. I don't need to be sold on no narratives, man. I love the game for what it is. I can put it on. I can watch it. And I don't need nobody to tell me who's good because they're going to jump off the screen. It always does in sports. It jumps off the screen. When you watch Zion Williamson, and even though he's a big body and it may not look like he should be able to do, he jumps off the screen. When you watch LeBron James, he jumps off the screen. You understand? When you watch a Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, and Pat Mahomes, they jump off the screen. So, like I always say, I knock no players. But Lamar Jackson deserves every accolade he's got. And now these haters coming out, everybody talking about he's lost a playoff game. Really? They said he wasn't even an NFL quarterback. So the very fact that he made it to the playoffs, he should get no hate. Because they said he should switch positions coming into the league. Then they said he was going to be a gimmick player. Then they said he was going to get figured out because all he could do was run the ball. They've always moved the goalpost on Lamar Jackson. If he wins the Super Bowl, it'll be he doesn't win multiple. Like it's always, the goalpost is always going to get moved on him because they're hating on him. Because Lamar does it his way. Because it doesn't fit into what they say is conventional. But I tell all of you all, because I've been watching this game for a long time, the mobile quarterback is not new. It's not quote unquote in vogue. It's not a gimmick. The mobile quarterback has always been around. It's always been around. Go back. I can go back to Fran Tarkenton. I didn't watch Fran Tarkenton, but I know about him because when I grew up, I watched NFL films. So I learned about Fran Tarkenton. You know, I learned about Steve Grogan. Watching NFL films had nothing to do with some media personality telling me. They chopped up the highlights and I watched these guys play. The mobile quarterback has always been around. Randall Cunningham was a mobile quarterback. John Elway was a mobile quarterback. Steve Young was a mobile quarterback. Cordell Stewart was a mobile quarterback. Steve McNair was a mobile quarterback. Donovan McNabb was a mobile quarterback. Dante Culpepper was a mobile quarterback. Like Mike Vick was a mobile quarterback. It goes on and on. Ben Roethlisberger was a mobile quarterback. Like it goes on and on and on and on, and it really doesn't stop. It's always been mobile quarterbacks in this league. Always. The thing is that they don't want guys that can do more diminishing guys who can't. See, when pocket passer is code word for someone who can only throw the football. Someone who's only athletic enough to throw the football. We call it pocket passer. So they don't want to push those guys out the league because it's about money. It's about investing in somebody that you think you can spend your money on a long-term investment versus something that you may sink a lot of money into and it ends up being a short-term investment. My problem with that is because the proof of what the statistics really tell us is that the mobile quarterbacks last 10 to 15 years easy because they always develop into the pocket passer. So you get, again, they always give you more. They give you their legs early, then they settle into becoming a pocket passer later. Whereas though the pocket passer is only giving you one way, so you got to hit on that. All of these mobile quarterbacks that I talked about, and including Lamar Jackson, they have years to develop because while they're using their athleticism, they're able to see the defenses that confuse them early in their career probably won't confuse them late because they've already seen it. And when they got confused early, they were able to use their legs to get out of trouble. So later on in their career, they're going to already see it coming. That's why all of these mobile quarterbacks that I talk about, they turn into pocket passers. And, with the exception of even Steve Grogan turned into a pocket passer, but he only had about 6-7 years in the league. But all of them. Donovan McNabb turned into a pocket passer. Dante Culpepper maybe didn't, and Cordell Stewart maybe didn't, but Cordell Stewart's career was ruined because they made him a slash instead of allowing him to play quarterback from the beginning. I believe they ruined his career because you shook his confidence. He was in and out the offense. Then he was a quarterback one year, not the quarterback next year, quarterback the year after that, and then lose his job again. Like they yo-yoed him. So I think his career was ruined, but I ain't here to talk about Cordell Stewart because this is really about Lamar Jackson. I'm so thankful. Greenberg, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, Mike Greenberg, for stepping up in the national media and being a voice to all of us smaller fish in the pond that don't have as big a platform as you. I appreciate you, man, for putting this out there. So finally, I can't beef with the national media no more. I got to start calling the ones out that I'm beefing with by name. So from now on, it's going to be about Doug Gottlieb, for sure. It's going to be about Stephen A. Smith. And it's going to be about the guest people who come on there and hate on all these different shows and hate. It's definitely going to be about Skip Bayless. So that's what it's going to be about. I'm not going to say national media no more. I'm going to start calling names. Because Greenberg, you done me proud, man. Regular football fan. Ravens fan for life. Trust your eyes, everybody. Always trust your eyes when it comes to this sport. What you see is what you get. This is the one walk of life where pretty much what you see is what you get. You can't hide when you're in sports. You cannot hide. You either are or you aren't. And Lamar Jackson, he is it. All of it. Shout out to Greenberg. Shout out to Ravens Nation. We out here.